Hey everybody, I'm Lisa Eaton and I'm back with another interview, and this time with Jim Marshall, who is running for Town of Wellington Board of Finance. So I'm excited to be here today to ask Jim some questions, and hopefully we can get some good helpful information to inform our decision making for the election on November 7th. So hi Jim, thanks for hanging out with me today on this.
Thanks for doing this. I appreciate the opportunity to tell the community a little bit about myself. I think it's helpful as a relatively newer voice in town and newer resident here. So
Absolutely.
Thanks very much. I appreciate it.
Happy to do it. Okay, so the first question. Tell me a little bit about yourself, like how long you lived here,
Sure.
kids in the school.
So background, my wife and I and our family moved here in 2020 during the height of the pandemic. We were formerly residents of Killingly, the eastern corner, so we've been in the northeast corner of Connecticut and living in the area for about 15, 20 years now. Prior to that, I grew up in Long Island, went to school at Roger Williams University in Rhode Island, and got my bachelor's of architecture degree.
I'll just interject for a second.
Sure.
You might have noticed there are multiple dogs walking in and out of the scene.
Yes, we
Jim
have
has four dogs, which
four
is
big
amazing.
dogs. Yeah, and they're great. They're a pack, and they're wonderful. You'll meet Jackson, Jasmine, Perry, and Pluto at various times, probably because they have free range and they love being the center of attention. So,
Love it. Love to meet them.
We have four dogs. We have two kids, one in each school here in town, first grade and fifth grade respectively. And let's see what else. Professionally, I'm an architect. I'm licensed in Connecticut and Massachusetts. I'm an associate of the firm I work for, which we do work in New England, but we have offices in Worcester, Mass. and Pawtucket, Rhode Island. I have a pretty varied architectural background with a lot of facility condition assessment, municipal work. For the last 8 to 10 years or so, I've had a focus on K through 12 design, and as well as other municipal projects. And I'm excited to bring that experience here to the community where I can help.
Excellent. So, of course, you're running for Board of Finance, and it'd be helpful, I think, to hear a bit about what inspired you to run for that position.
Sure. Well, I started when we moved here. We moved during the height of the pandemic, so it got hard to get involved because everybody was clustered or secluded, rather, in their homes, as were we. But I started getting involved or becoming really engaged in town with the distribution center project in consideration. So, yeah, the big warehouse. When I found out about that, my experience let me know that I knew exactly how devastating that could have been for this community. The scale and scope of that project was absurd. So I started to pay attention. I started to get involved. And from that, and arguing at the Planning and Zoning Commission to try to adjust the regulations to keep things like that from happening in town, I got more engaged in and learned a lot about what the town was involved in and what the needs of the town were. And with my experience and my background with my architectural background with facility assessments and understanding how really critical needs are here in town by way of infrastructure upgrades and infrastructure improvements, I knew that I felt I had to get engaged, and I thought the Board of Finance and trying to fiscally and responsibly promoting that effort and getting that effort done in a fiscally responsible way, I could really serve the town in that role. Same thing, I would also join the school building committee. The work of the school building committee was fairly wrapped up by the time I got there. It was just before referendum, but I volunteered to serve there. Had that project gone forward, I had hoped that my experience doing K through 12 educational design would help to make that an efficient and effective new project, because I know many of the boards here lack that type of experience, and I feel like I needed to serve or try to serve for that reason. So
Great. So you've mentioned a bit about your professional background. The next question is relevant to that. Other things that additional things you'd like to mention on that topic in regards to how your professional background would inform your being on the Board of Finance?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I touched on it briefly just now, but my background, I have done, I continue to do a lot of facility condition assessment work, municipal projects, building envelope repair and assessment. Through my K through 12 experience, and honestly, even on the municipal projects, I work with a lot of, or numerous boards. I'm in front of numerous boards on a regular basis. I understand the procedures, how that works. But I can bring that skill set to this town because we are facing challenges moving forward, both with the schools and improving and repairing those schools, as well as the fire stations, which are another pretty urgent need. If you've been paying attention, we have a problem at Station 13, and the departments are all looking for improvements to old infrastructure. So as those projects get developed by the various boards, I think my experience on the Board of Finance would allow me to understand and validate that the projects are being done cost effectively, because we are a small community, we have limited resources, and yeah, it's really important to get the most out of our money and making sure that we're not wasting is what it boils down to. So I think that background could really be a voice on the Board of Finance and help the other members there to understand
Absolutely.
the needs. So,
what do you think are the three most pressing issues facing the Board of Finance?
well, this is going to sound like a broken record at this point, but infrastructure needs. Infrastructure is going to be one of the most pressing challenges for the next 5 or 10 years here in town. We have very aging buildings. We don't have, a pool of money. We don't have we don't have any significant infrastructure or capital improvement savings accounts. So we have a significant need at both the schools, which are 100-year-old buildings, the fire departments, which are 50-year-old buildings, as well as pretty much every building in town, quite frankly. The town halls had issues over the years. It's old as well. The library is our newest building. It's 17 years young. So there is a lot of, I believe 17 years. It's going to be a significant financial need, and I think we really need to pay attention to doing.
Hey.
This is Jasmine. She is wonderful. She is not jumping right now, which is wonderful as well.
Hi, Jasmine.
But she's also very curious. So that's the critical one. I think I'm currently on the Board of Finance now. And through my experience over the last year, we also have a fairly significant problem with staff turnover here in town. I don't know if it's a problem, but we have a high rate of turnover in town, and we also have a high rate or a problem in recruiting qualified candidates because of the salaries we offer. So I think there is a pretty significant need to comprehensively look at that as the town is doing its annual budgeting. And then, third, looking for comprehensively looking at budgets. I've been a fairly conservative voice, I think, on the Board of Finance, looking for, asking for cuts where I feel that there were extravagancies in the budget this past budget season, where it was effective or where the budgets didn't quite align with what the need for the town really was. So I think we need to continue to do that very effectively so that we can kind of funnel available dollars into places that will serve us more, like increased pay where applicable or where available for town employees, and again, funding for infrastructure improvements, which is really going to be the focus of everybody's attention, I think, for the next period of time in town. So,
absolutely. So, just switching gears a little bit, you of course have experience on many different committees and towns, and so you're aware that we're not always in agreement on topics. So what is your approach to building consensus, particularly when you know that there's a challenging landscape
Yep.
ahead of us for a particular project?
No, that's building consensus is important, and I think getting information out there is really one of the best ways you can discussion and getting information out there are really some of the best ways to build consensus around a project. You can't understand need unless you have the information available to do so. So as most recently with the school building project, I tried to get information out there because I believe the voters needed the opportunity to have a voice and understand what they were voting for. The same thing, it's I'm all for being open. If you know me a little bit in town, I'd rather discuss things openly with you, and I'm readily available to answer questions to anybody. So feel free, is what it boils down to. So I think discussion, just having that open discussion and, debating the merits of information, and then really rallying support. But information is the driver for all that, and I think the town really needs to work on that and focus our efforts on getting information out there through any avenue possible moving forward.
What do you think distinguishes you from other candidates running for Board of Finance?
Yeah, again, I think I'd have to say it's my background. I know currently on the Board of Finance, there are other members with my, with an architectural design background. I don't believe there are any candidates with that as well. I think my background is uniquely suited for the position that our town is in, given that we are looking at significant capital improvement needs. So I come across this in my work profession as well when I'm dealing with other boards. Quite frankly, it's commonly the case where there's a lack of that of my type of experience serving on the various either school building committees, facility improvement committees, where it's really important to have that sort of background when you're dealing with infrastructure needs. And yeah, I think which is why I'm volunteering to try to serve, because I feel like I have to, and that my experience is the right fit at the right time for where we are here in Wellington. So,
absolutely, I couldn't agree more. Okay, and the last question: is there anything else you would like to share with us?
No, I mean, I'm excited to have been asked to continue to serve. I'm excited to volunteer to serve. I do also serve on the Capital Improvement Program Committee as well, so I'm excited to gain that added insight as a member of the Board of Finance. You'll also notice I am not running for Board of Ed. That's a different Marshall, my wife. My wife is also running, also wants to be engaged running for the Board of Ed. So I am just running for Board of Finance on my end, but you should check her out as well, because she is a wonderful and impressive and wonderfully qualified candidate if you check the PTA thing out. So yeah, give her a look as well. But once again, thank you very much. I hope to be able to serve you guys and serve the community moving forward. And thank you, Lisa, very much for doing
Yeah,
this.
absolutely. Thanks, y'all, for listening, and see you at the polls on November 7th. Bye.